Kash Patel's girlfriend is now fighting back. She's fighting back against the haters, the naysayers, people who think she's not a country music sensation. How dare they? No, I'm kidding. That's not why she's suing, but she's suing people. So let me take you back, and then I'm going to walk you through the story of what's happening. More relevant to me, I don't really care about conspiracies about her being a spy. What I care about is she only came up, Alexis Wilkins, Kash Patel, the FBI director's girlfriend, because he was criticized, rightly so, after criticizing past FBI directors for taking the FBI jet to go on a little date night and to go see her sing. She's a country music singer at a wrestling event. And he's been using gratuitously, it seems, the FBI jet in the very way that he had previously said was unbelievable from past FBI directors. Taxpayer money, etc. So, his girlfriend only came up in that context, at least in this world, the world that I'm in, criticizing someone who's a person in a position of power. But what it kind of brought to surface was a reminder of, I think, mostly right-wing conspiracies about Alexis Wilkins that I've been very tickled by, because they go something like, there's no way he could actually have her in love with him. It must be an op. It must be a honeypot. That's what the conspiracy was. And that's just the most brutal thing ever. If I were ever in a relationship and they were like, there's no way you got him. There's no way. It must be a honeypot. That would be very hurtful. And so now she's taking legal action. And that's what was confusing when he sent out his post saying, you can attack me, but not my girlfriend. And all of the liberals were thinking, is this directed at us? We didn't criticize your girlfriend. We just said you were going to see her on your jet. Maybe it was more about the right wing. And now a lawsuit's coming. So let me look at this full list of people being sued. I'll show you one of the guys, Elijah Schaffer, who is really just a sick MAGA person. He's a really unwell person from what I can tell, but he's being sued. So he posted his video, and others who have perpetuated the idea that she is an Israeli, I think. Yeah, Mossad, Israel's National Intelligence Agency honeypot spy who is wooing him to then infiltrate the government, which I think if any spy organization were, should I say this? Were setting up someone to get in a relationship with Kash Patel since 2023 so that if he became the FBI director, ultimately, he would be able to be infiltrated, they would have come up with a more realistic story. So here was her originally responding to these allegations. Then I'll show you Elijah Schaffer. MAGA on MAGA crime here.
Like that about you. So when this started coming out, were you shocked? I mean, do you think this is really basically just that you're with Kash?
I was shocked. I knew that, that Prager this is kind of something that I think people in the deep sides of the internet like to pick at, when they can't figure out what else is wrong. So some of it didn't surprise me when it first started coming up. I was like, all right, this looks like this is what they're focusing on today. But then to your point, Megan, these posts got millions of views. And, I could list all of the ways that this hurt me and my family, but some examples are the fact that people begin harassing you. People start doxing your family. People start, accusing you, just aside from all the other stuff that's hurtful, the fact that I've dedicated myself to this movement, to good values, to speaking to children, to doing things that I thought.
To having multiple American flags. That's important. Look, see, she's doing that.
Were good, that were in line with my values, but also the fact that it's accusing me of manipulating the person that I'm with, that I love. That's a horrible accusation. And seeing this pop off on the internet, I think the initial ones actually didn't tag me. So it was very bizarre to kind of start to see this roll in on my Twitter and it not being or my ex, and it not being a.
Okay. So there's that. She's saying she's not Mossad. This is a pretty wacky conspiracy, just so you know. I believe her. I don't believe her. I don't understand her. Do you? I mean, could you fall in love with Kash Patel, Jaden? I sure couldn't. He doesn't exude the things you would want one to exude. Charisma, good principles. But, so I don't understand her, but I believe her. Well, maybe she was swept off of her feet. And I've learned you can't do this. Don't judge a book by its cover. You really can't do this whole, oh, I think that she's pretty and he's not, so it must be. It happens. It really happens. And he's pretty too, I guess. Elijah Schaffer, a right-wing commentator, the real deal with how far right he is, had this to say in response to the lawsuit. She's suing him for making these claims.
Ever since Kash Patel was appointed as director of the FBI in February of 2025, the conspiratorial corners of the internet and social media have been spreading false narratives about Miss Wilkins as an Israeli Mossad agent, spy, or quote, honeypot, who is only in the relationship with Kash Patel to spy on and manipulate the United States government. Defendant's wordless reply, it goes on to say. So to clarify, before we go any further, if you post a public photo of a government official and his romantic partner, who he's not married to, very important fact we'll talk about, you as a private citizen or a member of the press can be bankrupted, have your entire company shut down, or completely mocked, slandered, and dragged through lawfare because of what? Because of your First Amendment protected rights. Now, I believe that this lawsuit is not only an attack on our First Amendment and our constitutional rights given to us by God, but I believe this is also a violation of SLAPP ordinances.
So extra. This is fun. For us, it's fun. Y'all are having a food fight over there. At least you're not throwing the food at us. Great. I really do feel that way sometimes. At least I wish they would criticize what Kash Patel's actually doing at the FBI. I really do. I don't think it's not fun if she's getting threats and stuff, by the way. I want to correct that. I mean that he's being sued. But it's not fun. Don't lie about people, however bad their boyfriend is. All that, of course. And especially you could be hindering the career of the next big country star. You don't want to do that. And so I don't care much, but I'm sick of people misstating what the First Amendment is. She's allowed to sue you. If you were protected with your First Amendment rights, then you'll destroy the case. You'll destroy the case. And government power is not being leveraged, from my understanding, to hurt Elijah Schaffer.
Constitutional rights given to us by God, but I believe this is also a violation of SLAPP ordinances. This seems to be a proxy lawsuit, if anything, from Kash Patel himself, and I have the evidence to prove it.
Oh, dang. Well, we wish him the best on presenting that evidence. No, I mean, it might be a bogus lawsuit. I don't know what he said. If you kept repeating she is Mossad and she's not, and she can prove that you were doing it in a defamatory way and maliciously and caused her damages, then, she can win. But if you can prove otherwise, then you'll win. And I guess he's saying it applies to the government because Kash Patel is really behind it. Maybe. But remember, this is important. I hate this. I hate it. She's a good singer. She is. And I just have to credit her with that. However bad her boyfriend is.
He had hair as white as a cotton field, and he could spin you a story like a wagon wheel.
That's about Kash's election conspiracies.
He never went nowhere without a rod and reel. Lord, I miss that man and I always will. I miss that man and I always will. Sees through a light like an old screen door. Taught me how to hunt and how to love the Lord. He carried a Bible in a 44. And they just don't make them like that no more.
No, they don't.
No, they just don't make them like that no more.
That song goes out to a little guy named Kash. She's good at singing. That's crazy. That's kind of bonkers. And then she's suing other people. So she's not happy. More importantly, the FBI Agents Association is issuing a statement Tuesday rebuking Kash Patel over what it characterized as chaos. That's the real important story, resulting from the agency recently firing and rehiring agents, the retribution campaign, etc. He's not a good leader. That's what I'm concerned about. No need to spread conspiracies about his girlfriend. She shouldn't be unjustly attacked. And that's my principle. Really and truly.